Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Elsah Luan. I am going to be a senior in college at Baylor University studying communication and violin performance. If you've never seen my face before, I love to create content here on YouTube as well as Instagram, so make sure you go follow me there. Today we're filming the long-awaited Q&A video specifically about college. So this is going out to all my freshmen coming into college, or maybe you're just a college student who wants to watch some relatable content. Whatever the case is, this video is definitely for you. I asked you guys to submit any questions you might have, and you guys did not disappoint. Going into college can be a little bit daunting. There's a lot of uncertainty, so I hope this video can give you some hope and just inspiration to really make your freshman year all that you can. Let's get into the question. How to get over being homesick. So I really didn't get homesick until closer to my second year of college, which that might be bad. It wasn't that I didn't love my family or anything. I just was ready for something brand new. I am going to be very homesick even though I'm going to be a senior. I do live quite far away from Baylor, so I can't go home for the weekends. I can't really go home for short breaks. Things that I do, I call my family pretty regularly. I text my family. You also expand your network when you go to college. You have all kinds of new people around you, so maybe just keep doing fun things. You guys asked a lot of questions on different platforms, so I had to like compile the list on this little document. What's the ideal amount of clothes to bring? I am a chronic overpacker, and it's so bad. It's so bad. I just always think I'm gonna need more clothes than I actually do. Only bring your favorite stuff that you are 100% gonna wear. Bring clothes that you wear, you know, on an everyday basis. Maybe clothes that are comfortable to go to class in, a few dressy items in case something fun happens on campus, or you go to a concert or something like that. Oftentimes there's not a ton of space in the dorms. I try to keep it to no more than like 8 pair of shoes. One item for sure would be like a picnic blanket. It comes in handy so much for campus activities where it's outside. You might need to sit on the grass. Any pointers on things I should do during orientation or move-in week? Put yourself out there. This is your opportunity to get names and exchange contact information. Oftentimes in these weird like move-in situations, you meet so many people getting supplies, dorm essentials. Same with like decorating your room. I didn't really care about decorations my freshman year, and I kind of wish I would have. Just really make your space your own. Scout out some places outside of campus, whether that's church hunting, looking for cute stores and shops and random things you can go do with your friends. Tips for dealing with imposter syndrome. It's very common when you go into a place you don't know to just automatically think, okay, I have nothing here to offer. That could not be further from the truth. You're here with a bunch of other people who don't know what they're doing either. You have something very special to offer the world, even if you don't feel like it some days. You have talents and abilities that God has uniquely given you, so don't shy away from that. Lean into that. Advice for staying healthy and fit in college. Have a gym routine. It doesn't have to be crazy. Also, treating my health and like fitness as a non-negotiable. Just like I have to get up every day and go to class, I have to get up every day and, you know, walk or run or swim. As far as like eating and stuff, I love to cook, but I know as freshmen sometimes you don't have that option, so I would say just, you know, opt for healthier alternatives. Sleep is so important, and I think that's why a lot of people get really sick, is because they're not sleeping and they're not going outside. So make sure you go outside as well. That's where you're getting vitamin D from the sunshine, you're getting fresh air. What does a typical college day look like? So if you guys want to see this in real life, make sure you check out some of my vlogs because I have a lot of them here on YouTube. I wake up early, either do homework right away, or I exercise, and I get ready for the day, eat breakfast, go off to my classes, break for lunch, and then go to more classes, maybe get in a violin practice, and then come back for dinner. Either go back to do violin or homework, or if I'm feeling like it, I'll maybe go for a run. My life really isn't that exciting. I do take my studies very seriously, and I have to practice a lot of violin. By the time I edit and film and like do content and stuff, that also takes up time. You know, if something gets more attention, something else is going to not get attention, and just knowing that you can't put 110% into every single aspect of your life, that's important, especially to my like perfectionists out there who want to do everything to the fullest. What surprised you most about college? How relaxed everything is. You're really in charge of whether you go to class. I would advise don't skip class. Make sure you know when things are due and when to get it done. Time management and how to manage your time in college. I try my very best to get everything done in a day, because if I don't, then things fall through the cracks and then I start really freaking out, because that's my type A personality coming out. Every night before bed, I write down all the tasks I need to do for the next day. I like to time block my day, making sure that you're really taking advantage of those breaks that you have. That's 30 minutes that you could have been doing some homework assignment instead of scrolling on your phone. You'll find what works for you in due time. I am very messy. Do you maybe have some advice on organizing my stuff? I like to have some bins on my desk instead of having this junk all over the place. At least have it in little, cubicles. Store my stuff underneath my bed in like big storage bins, not collecting junk. I'm an ultra nostalgic person, and so I love to keep everything. This bag is just a random bag, but I found it at this little cute antique store when I bought something for one of my friends. I just haven't thrown it away because I've been thinking, oh, it's so cute, but like, what is it doing? Like, it's literally just sitting here. So don't be like me. Make it a point. Like, I'm going through my stuff weekly and getting rid of stuff that is no longer serving a purpose, and then the organizational process will be so much easier. How to make friends if you're more on the quiet, introverted side. There's kind of a misconception that to make friends you need to be extroverted, which I don't think that's true. What it comes down to is just being yourself, taking an interest in someone else's life. Our society has gotten to the point where we're quite focused on ourselves that we don't oftentimes take the time to look around us. Try to strike up a conversation. Maybe you're waiting in line at, a coffee place on campus. Talk to someone in line. Conversation is such a skill. Like any other skill, it requires practice. Practice being a conversationalist. There are so many opportunities for connection all around us, but oftentimes we don't take advantage of those opportunities. Be the person who initiates something. Everyone's waiting for someone else to do it, so if you really step up to the plate, so many people will really admire that. How do you balance joining organizations not related to music as a music student? I'll be brutally honest here, I just don't have time. But I would say if you do have the time, you can really not go wrong with trying new things. It broadens your horizon, it gets you in with a new network of people. How to find my genuine / right fit of friends among all the people I'll meet / how to make like-minded friends. Don't try so hard. Some of my friends that I have now, it was the most random meeting. God's timing for meeting random people, it can literally be any time. Do the stuff, go to the events, because you really do meet some really cool people there. Meeting people who are different than us, it's really cool to get like their perspective. I have a lot of quote friends that later showed me that they were not genuine friends. As heartbreaking as it is good to know those things. If you're not gonna have my back, then why are we friends? You have to see someone's character play out over time, because you don't always know right away. How do college students dress in the USA? There's such a range of what people wear. You don't want to be too obsessed about how you look, but how you dress and how you show up does say something about yourself. For me, I usually just wear like a shirt like this or something with jeans. I've been experimenting more with my style the last year and a half. I like to express myself in what I wear. Don't worry too much about how everyone else is dressing. Dress the way that makes you feel comfortable and confident. Biggest lesson you've learned since college. Having the ability and courage and bravery to speak up gets you really far in life. It doesn't matter if you know something, but you have no way to express it verbally. People might not always take you seriously if you come across as too weak. I'll give you a little story. I was always the kid who kind of had the answer in my head in class, but I would be too scared to raise my hand. I kind of just adopted this identity of being the shy girl. It wasn't until high school that I took, a public speaking class, and I realized you can learn how to effectively speak and carry power with that, and not in a weird arrogant way, but in a way that can inspire other people. And that kind of sparked my love of speaking and made me want to start a YouTube channel. I was so worried about being wrong that I just let that fear keep me quiet and keep me shy. So I've learned in college just to go for it. And what's the worst that can happen? Tips for preventing roommate conflict. You are living with another person, maybe a couple, and there's no way that everything is just going to be perfect all the time. What I've learned from living with people for the last 3 years of my life is that you just have to say what you want, and in a kind way. You don't have to be rude about it, but you also can't expect someone to know something if you don't communicate it to them. My roommates and I get together coming up with things like, oh, hey, like text the group chat if you want someone to come over, or like no visitors past whatever. And then if there's conflict past that, we'll just like talk it out, kind of reframing it in your mind from like, oh, people are doing stuff to annoy me, to like, they don't know they're doing something to annoy me and I better talk it out with them. How to save money, because I hear college students eat out a lot with friends. Okay, that is very true. A lot of campuses have tons of student jobs that need to be filled. You can just work and get a little extra spending money. Don't be shy or something if you have to say like, hey, I'm gonna sit this one out, like I don't want to spend money on that. I don't think that is bad at all. Don't worry about if it looks bad in a group or something. You want to be a good steward of your money, making like a little budget for yourself even. So just having a plan, I think, is the most important point. Tips on prioritizing my faith while navigating a new/busy college schedule. So I got a lot of questions about like faith and stuff in college. The best thing that has helped me, set aside time with God, like journal or pray to God, sit in His presence and just see what He wants to tell me. Going to church is something that is important to me. I think it's super important not to lose perspective when you're in college. There's always a million things to do. At the end of the day, everything that I've been able to do has been a blessing from God. Like, I wouldn't be here without Him. God will never leave you. Like, He's walking alongside you in whatever you face. And also just praying like throughout my day. Like, sometimes I'll just pray to God while I'm walking to class. Literally, we can talk to God at any point, so why don't we talk to Him more? What sort of general areas on campus are good for studying? There are a lot of cute places to study outside. Libraries, sometimes there's little like cafes. Baylor has some place called the Sub, student union building, in little classrooms that aren't being used. Sometimes you can find like nice quiet spots on random different floors. So I've gotten a lot of questions about studying and like productivity, best study resources. Best productivity tips is really to just state what you're gonna do and just follow through. I also don't study with my phone quite near me. I usually put it behind my computer so I can't see it. Out of sight, out of mind. Take breaks. I'm gonna go outside and walk around a lap and then come back in. I love to use like Quizlet for like flashcards. Most of the time I make flashcards though with like pen and paper. I retain it a lot better that way. And then of course your university has resources if you need like help with writing a paper or you need tutoring. Make sure you do take advantage of that. Go to the professor's office hours. I've been to so many office hours in my life. I get to talk with the professor. They get to know a little bit about me, and they also see that I'm trying in their class. Favorite class or classes that I've taken so far. At Baylor, surprisingly, I really liked US and Global Perspectives because I had an amazing professor. He was just such a storyteller, and I'm really into storytelling. One of the most important tools we have to really craft messages and have, you know, the audience understand us. I love my Chinese classes. I've met a lot of my friends through those classes. I've also learned to speak Chinese when I knew like nothing basically. And then lastly, of course, violin lessons. That is the highlight of my week. Tips for not getting distracted. I might get canceled if I say this. The more you get used to living life on a screen, the less attention span you will have. And there's literally been studies done on this, especially with TikTok. It's lowered our attention span to like 6 seconds, which is terrifying. Limit your screen time. It's something I've had to do because I want to preserve the brain that God gave me, and I'm realizing more and more that scrolling endlessly without a point is so damaging to our brains and to our memory and cognition and everything like that. Don't check your phone first thing in the morning. Don't check it right before you go to bed. Don't be on it for hours and hours. How to deal with parents who worry too much. My parents worry about me all the time too. Them worrying about you is really because they love you. I call my family all the time, but I think it's good to maybe talk about that ahead of time just so everyone has the right expectation for how much communication will be happening. Maybe it's something where if you check in with them, they won't be as worried because they'll hear from you. What I'm assuming is that parents can send their kids off and kind of worry like, am I gonna lose them? So that's a lot to go through as a parent, so sometimes just being a little more empathetic and seeing it from their perspective. If you're open and willing to share, some of that with your parents, I think they'll be super grateful and really happy that you're kind of including them in your new world. How to avoid social burnout but also not get FOMO. You're always gonna have a little bit of FOMO because you can't be everywhere at once. I choose sometimes to not look at what everybody else is doing, and I think in a digital age we live in, you can feel left out if you see something and you're like, oh, I wasn't invited to that. You have to be kind of introspective and see, like, do I have more energy after this, or am I feeling drained? Because if I'm feeling really drained right now, maybe I need to back off and not do as many social things. Like anything in life, it's a balance, and you're just gonna have to find that balance. How to be confident in doing things alone / not over stressing too much about what others think. I used to be very afraid of doing things by myself. If there's no one around and I want to do something, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna let not having certain people around me stop me from doing fun things that I want to do. Someone who's judging me, they're not living my life. Most of the time, they're not even that close to me. For example, I posted this one violin reel and I got so much hate on it. It was so funny. Maybe a year and a half to 2 years ago, I would have been quite offended, but now I'm like, this is kind of funny that like random strangers hate it that much that they're willing to like comment. It's okay to care a little bit about what someone thinks. You can't ultimately let it rule your life, because if you are guided by what everyone else thinks is cool and good, you'll never do something unique and genuine to yourself. You just can't live in that state of constantly seeking approval from people. As long as I'm like obeying God, I'm not gonna go wrong. Biggest piece of advice from my college experience: do not stress yourself out. I spent so much of my college years literally making myself sick over being stressed out. God is walking alongside you in whatever you face. He's got a plan, and I think just clinging to that truth, really a game changer for how you think about college. God is gonna fit all the little puzzle pieces together, and sometimes if it doesn't work out the way you thought, like, it's okay. Like, God might have you on a different path. I've had to really think about that a lot, especially when it came to like friends that I used to have that I realize now aren't really my friends. Even though you have thousands of people around you, you will feel alone, and even in that loneliness, like, God is with me. You're gonna get through whatever situation you're in, so do not stress about it. God has you in his hands. Rapid fire Baylor questions. Is Greek life a big deal at Baylor? Yes, it's pretty prevalent. People think, oh, I have to be a part of Greek life to make friends. That is not true. You can absolutely make friends outside of Greek life. I'm not in Greek life, so I can't really give any insights on that, but I would say it is a big thing at Baylor. I need to attend a certain amount of arts programs at Baylor. How do I record those? So I think what you're talking about is the fine arts credits. Basically, you scan a QR code and then it takes you to this form. It's really easy. They will tell you how to do it once you attend the event. I believe there's like film, there's art, theater, performances and music, and then sometimes there's like language and culture ones. Tips on the Baylor essay. I worked so hard on that essay. It should be your best possible writing. Do not use AI. The whole point of a college essay is to be 100% you, not like 98%. The college is trying to see, like, who are you as a person? This world is pretty dark and pretty mundane. Colleges want to see color, and so your experience, your writing, like, has to reflect that. Thinking deeply, I think that's a really important thing that colleges want to see. Take some time to be introspective, be genuine, be authentic, and be really excited about whatever you're talking about. So make sure you pick a topic that you really are just so passionate about. Waco has a lot of homeless in town. As a girl, how have you handled that while at Baylor? I've been approached at grocery stores a couple times, as well as on campus at least twice, and it has been a bit scary. I try my very best to always carry like some pepper spray with me, be aware of my surroundings. I think that is the most underrated thing ever, especially when we have phones. We're so into our phones. We can be walking and not paying attention, and then all of a sudden we are in a situation that we didn't hope to be in. Those situations, sometimes they're a bit awkward or uncomfortable, but I just pray for that person. When did you learn to play the violin, and do you make songs on the violin yourself? When I was about 3, like, that's when I was first introduced to it. Didn't really pick it back up again until like closer to 7 or 8. Yeah, I've been playing pretty much ever since. I got more serious in 5th grade. Not really much of a composition person, but I would love to get into it. Typically just play, songs that I've heard. So I play those by ear, and then I also just play like standard violin repertoire. Alright y'all, my battery just died, so I had to grab another one. But anyway, that concludes this college Q&A. I hope it could just be kind of reassuring to like hear from someone else who's been through that. I know it's scary going into college, but you guys are going to do amazing, and no matter what, God is always by your side. Super excited to bring you through my last year at Baylor. I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye y'all.